I'm about to do an interview with someone, and there are a couple of things I always pay attention to during these kind of questions. Always, whether I'm being interviewed or I'm interviewing someone, I want to talk to them about my passion for financial ethics, and I want to engage with them about something they're passionate about. And you don't have to do that for a super long time. It could take like 2 minutes. I have a 2 minute, hey, I love this speech, that is pretty easy to keep track of. And all I'm really looking for from them is some sort of passion or interest of theirs that's somewhere along the lines of, yes, this is what I'm interested in, and it has something to do with what I'm interviewing about. As long as it relates in any way, the biggest main point is that they're not completely and totally hopeless yet. And I meet a lot of people who feel very hopeless, and that hopelessness, it's kind of like the opposite of a sponge. Instead of, cleaning everything up and soaking all the goodness into it, it like repels a lot of positivity. It repels a lot of teamwork and functionality. It repels a lot of momentum and motivation. And so I really want to see that person can get motivated. Now, do they have to be the most enthusiastic person I ever met in my life? Heck no. I have met some very, very analytical type A people who are passionate in their own way. If somebody is talking about details about something, or maybe they are obviously open to talking about it, they're obviously interested in this subject matter, that's good enough. They don't have to be exuberant, they don't have to be jumping up and down. I just want to know that they're capable of getting motivated. Because if they're capable of getting motivated, then that tells me if I can create a mutual relationship with them of prosperity, even if it's a temporary one, or even if it's only for a temporary goal, then that's awesome. So when I'm talking to someone and they're trying to accomplish this thing, and I'm trying to accomplish something, and we can mutually help each other get to our goals, that's my goal. I love that. I love teamwork. If they're not ever going to be motivated, I can help them and help them and help them, but they're never going to help back. They're just going to be a black hole of hate. Not because they're mean, not because they're a bad person, but because they just don't have any or ambition or motivation going on. Now, people can be too ambitious and too motivated. If I ask you about something that's, interesting to you or you're passionate about, and you're so into it, I'm worried you're getting like high off of it. That's a little too much. And obsessiveness is not the same as motivation. I'll say it that way. Another thing that I always want to be aware of is basically privilege. When you're sitting and talking with someone, always look for intersections where they might be at a disadvantage, you might be at an advantage. Maybe they're at an advantage and you're at a disadvantage. And you might say, oh, well, that's common, like business sense. But it's a little more than that. You want to have empathy, and you want to see that they can be empathetic. So whenever I'm talking to someone, being aware of making it a safe space is really important. And if the other person is also trying to make it a safe space, that lets you know that they're capable of that, and they might do that again when you're pursuing common goals together. But if they're going to be on the team and either abrasive and not adding to that safety, they're going to be creating some sort of drama, dragging up a bunch of gossips, like whatever it is. Creating issues is not great. And also, if they obviously don't feel safe, it's really important to address that. If they're in there and you're like, oh, hey, first time nerves or something like that, or oh, hey, you're a little nervous, that's fine, and they're still like super anxious, the thing I do is address it. Say, hey, do you want to talk about this? Are you I always ask something so that it's not a long-winded question first. Always start with a couple of yes or no questions to help get them in answering question mode. So, hey, you seem nervous. Oh, yeah. So for I am nervous. Okay. Did anything happen on the way here to make you nervous, or is it just this interview? Oh yeah, no, it's just the interview. Okay. And now that it is the interview, is there anything I can do to make you less nervous? And then that is not a yes or no question. That is a, oh no, it's fine. It's just a me thing. Or, oh, well, actually, yes. I mean, you could maybe do this thing. Now, if they only say yes or they only say no, then lead it further, because it could be a yes or no question if they're really super direct or maybe neurodivergent. But if most people get asked that, most people are willing to start being, oh, maybe this would help, or maybe this would help, or oh, I just need to work through it, or as we go along it'll get better, whatever it is. Starting the entire thing with creating a safe space is really important. If they come in all confident and stuff and they're feeling great, that's great. If they come in a little aggressive, I might say, hey, I need this tone to change, or hey, I would appreciate it if we had a more professional, way about this. And if they come back at me and defensively, I'll listen. Sometimes their defensiveness comes from a lot of disparities or discriminations that they experience, that they're just building a wall, preparing for it to just happen again. And they're not expecting otherwise, because that's what life has taught them. Sometimes people come in and they are intimidated, and maybe they're intimidated in a way that has to do with discrimination or disparities. Maybe they want to intimidate you because they feel like they are in a position of power as soon as they look at you. The biggest thing is to make it as safe of a space as possible for everyone involved. And then the third thing is, I want to know really interesting details. I don't want like some generalized frou-frou skill set. I want to know exactly what you bring to a table when you come to a table. And is it important to know that you have some sort of skills for the job? Sure. But honestly, most people can be trained. Most people can learn. Most people can do other things. When it's really a big issue is when the person can't be part of the team. They're not compatible with the team. They just don't work together well. And you want to foster as much of a possibility of working together as you can. And you want the other person to be doing the same thing. I don't want to just know that, oh, hey, you are a CPA, like for instance. I want to know, oh, hey, you did regulation work with the state for taxes, for income taxes, for citizens in the state. That's so interesting. And that level of detail is important to me because it shows A, that you actually know what you're talking about way better than that you are certified, and B, it shows that when I'm looking at what's going on the team, you're going to have this whole other perspective, this whole other repertoire of information, skills, talents, abilities, gains. All your experiences are awesome. Maybe it's your very first time being on a team. Maybe you're brand new to everything. That's okay. As long as you're willing to learn, and as long as adaptability and lifelong learner and excitement, motivation are what you're bringing to the table, you're still bringing good things to the team. The biggest thing is that the team can still function. That's really what it is about. And these things help so much. And these are things that when I'm doing interviewing, these are the things that I am personally looking for. So hopefully if you ever are going to an interview, you can think about some of those things And if you're ever doing an interview with someone, you can think about maybe bringing those things into the interview process, because in reality, those are the things that are important.